The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. Madison Square Garden was locked down tighter than a fortress. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession. The truth about Taylor Swift's viral wedding photos has finally been revealed. Welcome to StarScope Report.
Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
Okay, let's unpack this, because today we are diving into a massive stack of sources covering the July 3, 2026 wedding of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And honestly, I mean, this is a story that completely took over the internet. You literally could not log onto any platform, watch any news channel, or talk to a coworker without hearing about it.
No, you really couldn't. It was everywhere.
Right. But as we dig into the research for this deep dive, the reality of what actually happened inside Madison Square Garden is wildly different from the digital mirage that millions of people were obsessively staring at on their screens.
Yeah, and that gap between the screen and reality is exactly our mission today. We are going to separate the wild AI-generated fiction from the jaw-dropping reality of this $25 million plus cultural phenomenon.
It's such a massive number.
It really is, and we need to figure out what this unprecedented media circus tells us about fame, the illusion of privacy, and, how we consume truth in the modern information age. Because what happened around this wedding is, well, it's the ultimate stress test for our digital culture.
It really is. I mean, millions of fans were tricked by a wedding that didn't look anything like the pictures they were sharing.
Yeah.
And to even begin to understand how a collective hallucination of that scale happens, you have to look at the physical reality of the lead-up.
Right, the secrecy.
Yes, the sheer military-grade secrecy around this July 3rd event. We are talking about an estimated $160,000 spent just on the NYPD security detail.
Which is just a staggering logistical footprint. I mean, that money buys you 70 detectives pulled from precincts all across New York City, plus another 50 officers dedicated entirely to the venue perimeter.
Wow. And they literally covered the glass exterior of Madison Square Garden in heavy tarps and curtains.
Yeah, they did not want anyone looking in.
Exactly. No parking signs blanketed 7th Avenue. And for the roughly 1,000 guests who actually made it inside, they faced a strict, absolute no-phone policy.
Enforced by those yonder pouches, right?
Yep, the locked pouches and ironclad non-disclosure agreements. I mean, it wasn't just a party, it was an information fortress.
And see, that fortress strategy is precisely what backfired on a digital level.
How so?
Well, when you engineer an absolute information vacuum around an event of this magnitude, I mean, two of the most famous people on the planet getting married, the public's appetite for details doesn't just go away, it amplifies.
Oh, for sure. People get obsessed.
Right. But because the actual flow of authentic information was completely choked off by those NDAs and the phone ban, it created this highly pressurized environment. Nature abhors a vacuum and the internet abhors it even more.
Yeah, and into that vacuum rushed the main event, which was the AI explosion. Because there were no real photos coming out of those doors, the internet just decided to, synthesize its own reality.
Which was wild to watch unfold.
It really was. It started with this one viral post on X. The caption was in Spanish, translating roughly to, "If this is true, I'm screaming with excitement." And it racked up over 1.6 million views in just a matter of hours.
That's incredible engagement for a single fake photo.
Right. And the image showed what looked like Taylor Swift in this very traditional, almost textbook white veil, and Travis Kelce in a standard black tuxedo holding a glass of champagne.
And it wasn't just isolated to, overzealous fan accounts either.
Oh, no, the celebrities got involved.
Yeah. The comedian Bert Kreischer threw fuel on the fire by posting an AI fake of himself standing with Travis and Jason Kelce, and they're all decked out in this bizarre wedding gear.
And Travis Kelce actually replied to that post. He replied with the crying, laughing emojis, which just made everyone go crazy.
Exactly. He fed right into it.
But hold on, because I'm looking at that viral Spanish post right now, and I have to call a timeout.
Okay, what do you see?
If you actually look at these photos, the groom has 6 fingers on one hand. Swift's dress seems to be, melting into a table in the background. The lighting is coming from 3 different impossible directions. So are we really pretending this is a massive threat to digital reality? It just looks like goofy fan fiction, Why does a bad Photoshop job actually matter?
Well, what's fascinating here is the underlying psychology that overrides those obvious glitches.
What do you mean?
We have an academic source from Lancaster ePrints that dives into the specific blind spot. They call it the critically speculative ethics of care.
Okay, translating that for those of us who haven't read a sociology textbook lately.
Right, sorry. To put it in simpler terms, it's about what sociologists call folk theories. It means that when human beings desperately want to believe a narrative, they prioritize social validation over forensic evidence.
Okay, so like wanting to be part of the crowd.
Exactly. If 10 of your closest friends share a photo in a group chat and say, look how beautiful she looks, your brain is psychologically primed to trust the social bond of your friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that trust actually filters out the visual anomalies. You literally don't see the six fingers because your brain is focused on the shared emotional experience of the image.
So the emotional hype completely overrides our critical thinking. That's wild. But wait, earlier you mentioned this has major technological consequences too.
It does, and this is where it gets slightly dystopian.
Oh.
When millions of fans circulate those fake wedding photos, even as a joke like the Burt Kreischer post, they are actively training generative AI model.
Wait, really? So it's like we're unwittingly crowdsourcing a counterfeit ring.
That is the perfect way to look at it.
Every time a fan shares a fake photo, comments on it, or even just lingers on it, they are essentially handing the algorithm a red pen, right? Telling the machine exactly how to grade and improve its next forgery.
Exactly. The algorithms learn from human engagement. The digital ecosystem used the information vacuum of this wedding as a massive real-time training ground. It was an exercise in blurring the line between reality and fabrication for whatever the next major cultural event will be.
That is genuinely terrifying. We basically paid for AI to go to art school using a celebrity wedding. But while everyone was distracted by digital extra fingers and warped champagne glasses, the real details of Madison Square Garden were quietly leaking out. And honestly, the source of the leak is hilarious.
It really is the best part.
Oh, totally. And hey, if you're loving these Hollywood twists and the bizarre psychology behind them, make sure you subscribe to this deep dive. We've got even crazier stories ahead.
Yeah, the irony of how this airtight event finally cracked, it's just fascinating.
Right. The military-grade NDAs, the $160,000 police presence, the tarps over the windows.
All of that.
And it was all broken by a personal trainer and a loose-lipped CEO. You literally cannot write this stuff. Despite the millions spent on keeping this under wraps, the very first authentic guest-taken photos leaked on Instagram via Rob Jordan.
The personal trainer.
Yeah, personal trainer who is a close friend of the couple and his wife, Joann.
Which completely shattered the AI-generated illusion of what the event actually looked like. Because remember, the algorithm predicted a standard, sterile white wedding aesthetic.
Oh, and the reality was so much more cinematic. The photos showed Madison Square Garden utterly transformed. I mean, it didn't look like an arena at all.
Not at all.
There were these sweeping, peach-carpeted staircases. The entryways were draped in heavy pink fabric. There was a massive bespoke decor wall covered entirely in childhood photos of the two of them, goofy vacation pictures, little PDA moments, and even a prominent photo of a dog.
It's so personal.
It was incredibly warm, highly personalized, and uniquely them.
But, you know, the most vivid, detailed description of that physical space didn't come from a raw Instagram photo. It came from a corporate executive who seemingly let the excitement of his status get the better of him.
Wait, I saw that tweet before it got nuked. Adam Sandler, the CEO of AMC Theaters.
Yes, exactly.
He obviously has a massive business relationship with Swift after the Eras Tour movie. But he tweeted out this incredibly long, detailed rundown of the interior before any official pictures had surfaced. He literally counted the chairs. He said there were exactly 75 chairs, right?
Yes, 75.
In Madison Square Garden. That's like renting out the Coliseum for a dinner party of 10.
The scale of that contrast is brilliant from a PR perspective. Aaron painted a picture of an indoor, lush countryside retreat. He noted that despite being in a venue that holds nearly 20,000 screaming fans, the ceremony space was limited to just 15 rows.
Wow.
And he described the vows as entertaining, personal, emotional, and deliberately irreverent, ending with a classic cinematic sweep-you-off-your-feet kiss.
And the visual details he leaked were eventually backed up by the official confirmation from Swift's publicist, and the confirmed facts are just staggering.
The fashion alone, I mean.
Oh, it's insane. Both the bride and groom wore custom Christian Dior haute couture. And this is a massive deal in the fashion world because it was designed by Jonathan Anderson.
Right.
The New York Times pointed out that this was Anderson's very first couture wedding look for a world-renowned celebrity of this scale. And they paired the Dior with custom Christian Louboutin shoes and Cartier jewelry.
It is the absolute pinnacle of high fashion exclusivity. Bringing someone like Jonathan Anderson, who is known for his avant-garde, slightly surreal edge, into a classic American pop star's wedding is a brilliant collision of traditional luxury and modern art.
For sure.
But look at how they balanced that extreme exclusivity with the bridal party.
Yes, that was the biggest surprise for me. With all that custom Dior, you would expect a grandiose entourage of 30 A-list celebrities flanking them at the altar.
Right, the usual Hollywood spectacle.
Yeah, exactly. But it was incredibly intimate. Austin Swift served as the man of honor, Jason Kelce was the best man, the nieces were the flower girls. By keeping the bridal party strictly to immediate family, they grounded this massive billion-dollar spectacle in genuine connection.
Joseph Kahn, the famous music video director who was there mingling with guests like Steven Spielberg and Kate Capshaw, he gave a quote that perfectly summarizes the night. He said, "Trust me, AI would break if you tried to prompt it. It was like living in the internet."
Living in the internet. That is such an evocative phrase. It implies the event was so saturated with iconic faces, so dense with bespoke contradictory details, that a machine literally couldn't render the nuance of it.
Exactly. A machine can generate a white dress, but it can't generate the specific emotional resonance of a 75-person family dinner happening inside a fortified sports arena.
No, it really can't. And speaking of unexpected contradictory details, later in this deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming regarding who actually stood at the altar to marry them.
Oh, this is good.
And a record-breaking wedding gift that changed the math on the entire weekend. Because just when you think you have a handle on the vibe of this wedding, it throws a massive curveball.
The contrast only gets sharper from here.
So, the official press release drops, and nestled right in there, right beneath the mentions of Dior Haute Couture and Cartier diamonds, is the revelation that the officiant was a comedy legend. And the couple gave away $26 million.
The sheer juxtaposition of those two facts is a lot to process.
Let's start with the officiant. Adam Sandler married Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Still hard to believe.
Right. And according to sources, he didn't just read standard vows. He sang an original song he wrote specifically for the couple. Now, when I first read that, my brain just short-circuited. Of all the people in the world, world leaders, iconic poets, music industry legends, why Adam Sandler?
Well, it feels completely random until you look at the recent timeline of their lives. Sandler and Kelce genuinely bonded on the set of the movie Happy Gilmore 2, where Kelce filmed a cameo.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, Sandler even went on the Kelce Brothers podcast and talked about how locked in and genuinely cool Travis was to work with. They built a real offline friendship.
Here's where it gets really interesting. It's a deliberate palate cleanser for the whole event. It's like serving a $500 Wagyu steak, but pairing it with a can of Miller High Life.
Yes, and it serves a very specific function. You have the intimidating weight of Christian Dior in Madison Square Garden, but you intentionally ground it with a guy who is globally famous for wearing oversized basketball shorts and doing goofy voices.
Exactly.
It sends a powerful signal to the guests and eventually to the world that despite the billion-dollar net worths and the global fame, the core of their relationship doesn't take itself too seriously.
It's the ultimate flex. You're so wealthy and famous that you don't need to perform elegance. You can just have your funny friend marry you. And speaking of that wealth, the philanthropy attached to this weekend was staggering. During the wedding week, the couple made a combined $26 million donation to various charities, including Feeding America, the ASPCA, and Dolly Parton's Imagination Library.
To put that number in perspective, we looked at an estimate from an expert event planner at Alenado Events. When you factor in the $160,000 security detail, the Madison Square Garden rental, the bespoke Dior, and the catering from exclusive spots like Zero Bond, they estimated the total cost of the wedding to be somewhere between $17 and $27 million.
So they basically looked at the astronomical receipt for their own luxury weekend and wrote a matching check to charity.
Pretty much.
That is wild. And the reactions from the charities were so pure. Dolly Parton actually posted a video thanking them for the $2 million specifically given to her literacy program. She ended the video by hilariously asking, "Hey, when you have your firstborn, can I have it?"
Which is the most Dolly Parton response possible.
Right. So good.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the scale of those donations, combined with the venue and the security, proves that this transcended a typical celebrity marriage.
It really did. What's wild is how the wedding actually transcended pop culture entirely. and became a talking point for national public infrastructure.
It reached everywhere.
Oh, completely.
Sure.
The White House's official America 250 account, which is prepping for the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, posted an Eras Tour-style montage honoring the event.
Wow.
And then on the other side of the aisle, Donald Trump used the Madison Square Garden marriage announcement as punchline material during a speech. Now, regardless of where you stand on that, it proves that this wasn't treated as a private marriage. It was treated as a piece of national public domain that everyone, from politicians to brands, tried to claim a stake in.
It's empirical evidence of a localized cultural singularity. I mean, the Empire State Building literally changed its lights to blue to serve as the couple's something blue.
That is crazy.
When city infrastructure, national political figures, and global fashion houses all pivot their operations to acknowledge a single private event, you are no longer looking at a wedding. You are looking at a monolith.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Why should you care about the logistics of a celebrity wedding, especially if you aren't like a diehard fan of their music or their football team?
Well, you should care, because this event is the ultimate case study in how to navigate the modern information landscape. It showed us exactly how our digital ecosystem behaves under extreme pressure.
Absolutely.
When the public is starved for facts, when there is a highly enforced vacuum of verified information, your social media feeds will automatically serve you AI fictions to fill that void. And as we discussed with the folk theories, your brain will actually want to believe them.
It's a crash course in media literacy happening in real time. It's a stark reminder to question what you see online, to look for the warped champagne glasses and the extra fingers, and to have the patience to wait for the truth, rather than just accepting the first compelling image that crosses your feed.
And it leaves us with a profound, almost unsettling question to ponder as we look to the future. We are rapidly approaching a day where AI generation becomes completely indistinguishable from reality.
It's coming so fast.
It is. When we can no longer spot the extra fingers or the weird lighting, how do public figures defend the truth of their own lives?
Wow. Yeah, if anyone can generate a photorealistic scandal or a completely fake wedding at the push of a button, will mega celebrities eventually be forced to live stream their most private, intimate moments just to prove the deepfakes are false?
Exactly. If the only way to prove a fake is to broadcast the raw, verified reality, then the very concept of a private celebrity event might become entirely obsolete.
If you have to broadcast your life just to prove it's real, then privacy really is dead. That is something heavy to chew on. You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.